I want to start off today with a couple Trump-related stories. The first, I don't even know if you'll believe this when you hear it. The Justice Department believes Trump may still have more documents. What are we talking about? So the timeline goes, the National Archives requested months and months and months ago to get documents that he had that he shouldn't back. He resisted, but then he gave some documents and pretended like that was all of them. They said, that's not all of them. Please give them all back. He resisted. He didn't do it. The FBI raid happened. With all of that happening and having happened, Trump is still possibly holding on to more documents based on the belief from the Justice Department. Incredible. So we're going to take a look at this, and then just to kind of preview, in the same segment, we'll be looking at an interview that he did with his daughter-in-law, Laura Ingraham, and a few odd moments from that. So first, the New York Times writes, Justice Department is said to believe Trump has more documents. A top Justice Department official told former President Donald J. Trump's lawyers in recent weeks that the department believed he had not returned all the documents he took when he left the White House. The outreach from the official, who leads the department's counterintelligence operations, is the most concrete indication yet that investigators remain skeptical that Mr. Trump has been fully cooperative in their efforts to recover documents the former president was supposed to have turned over to the National Archives at the end of his term. It is not clear what steps the Justice Department might take to retrieve any material it thinks Mr. Trump still holds. Holy smokes. What is going on in this world? He gets raided and he still doesn't give everything over. He still may have, or that's the belief. That's what they're thinking and conveying to his lawyers. Absolutely incredible. Okay, so Laura Ingraham, his daughter-in-law, did an interview with him. So in this same segment, I wanted to go through a few moments from that. The first has to do with this weird bit he keeps doing where he refers to the word nuclear as the N-word. And so he's repeated it so many times. I think he just thinks it's hilarious. He'll go, Putin keeps talking about the N-word, the nuclear word. And every single time he brings up the concept of nuclear, lately he's been doing it. Super bizarre. So here's some examples of that. And then we'll show you in this interview how it looks like the editors of the show cut out him doing that little bit, likely because they thought it was a bad look. Take a look.
If you look at
so this is past times he did it, to give you context.
With his talk, and if you look, this is not talk. You don't mention that thing that we don't want to talk about. I say the N-word. Well, it means the nuclear word. Mm-hmm. The N-word is the nuclear word, and that is a threat like...
So, I guess he's just rebranding a very common phrase, but okay. And then here's another example of that.
We have the greatest nuclear force in the world. You don't want to do that. I call it the N-word, okay? I said that to a group of people. They said, the N-word, oh, he said a horrible thing. I said, no, the nuclear word is what I'm talking. He said, oh, he said a horrible thing.
All right, so that is something he likes to do as of late. And so then here, when the subject comes up, is this odd jump cut that happens that people are assuming was to take out him doing that little bit again. And I watched the whole interview. I subjected myself to that for you guys. Gosh. So that I could get some good moments out of it. And throughout the whole thing, there's not cuts a bunch. You know what I'm saying? This isn't an edited up interview to make it faster pace. It was very free flowing and pretty raw, and except right here where there's a jump cut that clearly takes out him doing the N-word bit. Take a look.
Hands as usual.
Yeah, it's so sad to see, honestly. Very important question. Would love to get your take on this. Do you think Joe Biden runs again?
I think he's going to try. And I've said this before. I said it the other night on Sean Hannity's show. I would love to see him do a great job because our country is really dying.
Right.
Our country is dying.
Sure he would.
We have never been in this position. And now for the last 2 weeks, they're talking about nuclear. This hasn't been discussed. This was a no-no. You don't ever mention it. I said, you don't mention it, and you don't mention it.
You see that?
Say it.
It just randomly cut. Again, that's not something that was happening throughout the whole interview. But clearly, Laura Trump or someone on her team didn't love that little moment, and they clipped it out. At least that's the assumption. And then here is him getting asked if he'll run again, and his response.
Me to 2024. What factors are you weighing to make your decision as to whether or not you run in 24?
I just want to see this country be great. I don't think I've ever seen the country in such danger as it is right now. We're in serious danger. And also, we're just not the same place. We are right now not a great country. You know, I say make America great again. I think that that term has never had such meaning as it does right now. I had a previous campaign, I was going to say, keep America great. And then I realized you can't use that because America right now is being laughed at by the entire world. Our influence has dwindled. You look at...
Right. And then next, he brings up the purposeful virus leak theory that has been floating around on the right, that China purposefully sent COVID-19 around the world to do damage to the United States. Some people even believe that it was literally manufactured just to make Trump lose his re-election. Interesting. Imagine believing that China and all these world governments coordinated to create COVID-19 to take down Trump, but then Trump won, but then it was stolen. It's like, why do they need COVID-19 to make people not like him in America because of COVID-19 if they were just going to steal the election anyways? Who knows? It's confusing. Conspiracy brain will melt your own brain. And then here's that, sorry.
Nothing bad to say. And our country was coming together. Then we had COVID come in. Some people think China did that on purpose, and some people don't. I don't happen to think that.
So look at him, not even believing the crazy theory.
I think it got out of hand from Wuhan, the lab in Wuhan. I really believe it was incompetence or something. But there are many people that are smart that think that we were doing so well that maybe it was done on purpose. But we were coming together as a country like I've never seen before.
Y'all remember that? Y'all remember how united we were when Trump was president? And then finally, he retells the odd story of a pollster coming to him and saying, "Sir, if George Washington and Lincoln came back to life and ran as president and vice president on a ticket against you, you would win by 40% or 40 points or whatever."
But before that came in, this country was being unified. It was a beautiful thing. I remember a pollster came in to see me a week before, and he said, if Abraham Lincoln and George Washington got together and ran for president and vice president, they could not beat you. That's how strong the numbers were.
That's pretty good.
Because things were really good.
Wow. We discussed that previously, so bizarre. So there we go. Number one, Justice Department believes Trump still may have documents in his possession. Absolutely wild. Number two, him doing his normal rambles to his daughter-in-law.